Welcome to Banjo Wisdom, where I tell stories, give you advice, and teach you how to play Cripple Creek. This lesson is number 5, and it's called 12 Rules for Banjo Life, also known as How to Play with Others. So the first thing to understand about the 12 rules for banjo life is that there's only 5 of them. The naming it 12 Rules for Banjo Life was a marketing decision made by the marketing department, which was me. So there are really 5 rules for banjo life, and I'm going to go through those rules now. Rule number 1, let the banjo do the heavy lifting. And by that, I mean don't play too loud. If you are banging on the banjo, it's not going to sound as good as it might. So play gently but firmly. So that's the first rule. Rule B, be the banjo. Now, how can I be the banjo? Well, you're not literally being the banjo. You're going to be the banjo player, and you're going to play the banjo like a banjo. You're not going to pretend to play it like a guitar. You're not going to try to play it like a mandolin or like a fiddle. You're going to play it like a banjo. Now, I learned this lesson from a good friend of my family whose name is Dennis Devine. He was kind of a music mentor for us, and some of us played in his band occasionally. And I was at a jam session with him, and I was playing the mandolin. I had no business playing the mandolin because I didn't really know how. But he told me between songs, he said, "You're playing the mandolin like a guitar. You need to play it like a mandolin. The mandolin is all about double stops and tremolo. So when you're playing the mandolin, be the mandolin." The same is true of the banjo. If you're playing the banjo, be the banjo. And banjo-y things are melodies within a roll. When you're doing backup, you can do rolls, or there's some other conventions that were developed by Earl Scruggs, like the sort of the chopping. But you don't want to chop when the mandolin is chopping. When the mandolin is chopping, you want to be playing rolls or something. So if you're playing the banjo, play it like a banjo. Don't play it like a mandolin. Don't play it like a guitar. Play it like a banjo. Rule I. Jam at your own level. Many of you watching this video, probably most of you, are beginners on the banjo. If you go to a jam session, jam with the beginners. Don't go and try to jam with the professional level guys or the ones who are, medium level. You want to jam with the beginners. Now, you can go watch a jam with the professional level guys. That's great. You might even be able to hold an instrument in your hand and sit in the back row. But don't get in over your head, because it does 2 things. One is it embarrasses you, and 2, it embarrasses you. So don't jam above where you're able to play. Rule Delta, appreciate the classics. Now, by this I mean you need to know why it is that everybody says Earl Scruggs is great. Notice that I'm not saying that you have to like Earl Scruggs playing, or that you have to like Flatt & Scruggs music. But you do need to know why they're great and why people appreciate them. Because when it comes to classics, you're not their judge. They judge you. I use the example from my own life of Lord of the Rings. I know the Lord of the Rings trilogy are classic novels. I don't happen to like them, but I don't come around and say, Tolkien didn't know what he was doing. He was a terrible writer. No, I say, Tolkien was great, and I try to understand why he's great and why he's appreciated. I'm not going to say he's an awful writer, because everyone on earth knows that he's a good writer. Same thing with the classics in bluegrass. If there are songs that are classics, appreciate them. Even if you don't happen to like them personally, you need to know why they're great and why people think they're great. And that goes with all kinds of classics, like Shakespeare, ham sandwiches, just, the classics. And finally, Rule 5, turn off your cell phone. Now, I don't mean this necessarily literally all the time, although it includes the literal turning off your cell phone. But what I mean is, be engaged in what you're doing. If you're playing in a band, don't quit in the middle of a song to go take a cell phone call. If you're playing, play your instrument. If someone else is taking the lead, watch what they're doing, because it's common decency to appreciate what the other musicians around you are doing. So that's why Rule 5 is turn your cell phone off. So those are the 5 rules of the 12 rules of banjo life, also known as playing with others. So now we're going to get into playing Cripple Creek. I've taught you several things so far. We're going to review some of them now. I've taught you the alternating thumb pattern, 3-2-5-1, 4-2-5-1. I've taught you the basic rhythm, which is 3 pinch, 4 pinch, 3-2-5-1, 4-2-5-1. I've taught you the forward roll, which is 5-2-1, 5-2-1. I've taught you the forward reverse roll, which is 5-2-1, 5-1-2, 5-2-1, 5-1-2. I've taught you the pull-off, which is pluck the first note of the pull-off with your thumb and pull with your left hand for the second note. I've taught you the C position, which is with your left hand, the ring finger, first string, 2 frets up from the capo, middle finger on the 4th string, 2 frets up from the capo, and index finger on the 2nd string, 1 fret up from the capo. And then that can be used up in other positions, but for Cripple Creek we're just using this position. And I'm just going to play it here a little bit with the basic rhythm. And I've taught you the slide. There was a first string slide where we used a pinch with the right hand on the 1st and 5th string, and we slid from the 2nd to the 5th fret on the 1st string. When I say 2nd to the 5th, that's 2nd and 5th up from the capo. And then there's a slide on the 3rd string from the 2nd to the 4th fret up from the capo, and you do that with your thumb. Now we're going to learn the beginning of Cripple Creek, which is the slide and then a bit of the reverse roll. So it's slide, another pinch, and then on the right hand, 1st string, 2nd. Okay, so it's slide, another pinch, and then the 1st string with the middle finger and the 2nd string with the index finger. Let's go ahead and do that again. So I'm going to describe that one more time. With the left hand, you're going to slide on the 1st string from the 2nd fret from the capo to the 5th fret from the capo. On the right hand, you're going to do pinch on the 1st and 5th string twice, and then you're going to pick the 1st and 2nd string in that order. So that's the beginning of Cripple Creek, and thanks for watching. God bless you.